not filling the shoes of Speaker Andrew Romanoff, who is here today to show his support as well for this bill. First, I want to extend my sincere condolences to the family and the friends of the Lofgrens. We are so proud and honored to have so many of you here with us today and to have you supporting this bill wholeheartedly. We will be looking forward to working with all of you as we move through this process. Public safety is a primary issue for any lawmaker in this building. And that is why we are very, very proud to present a bill this session to require that all new homes and all homes being sold will be required to have carbon monoxide detectors like these that you can buy for about 25 bucks. Representative John Soper brought this bill last year, but it didn't pass. He and I will both be sponsoring it this year, and it will be the Lofgren Family Memorial Act, because we don't want to see anyone else go through this kind of tragedy here in Colorado. I'm certain that with your help, we will get the support of those who opposed us last year, because nobody wants to see this kind of tragedy happen again. But there's something we can all do right now. We can all go out and get these and install them in our homes. They could be great stocking stuffers for your family and friends. In fact, my husband and I have an anniversary, 35 years, on the 21st of this month. So I might give him one of these for our anniversary and then another one at Christmas and put it in his stocking, except I just gave the secret away. Anyhow, I think these are very important, and we should all make certain to remind family and friends to install the carbon monoxide detectors. Several thousand people a year go to emergency rooms with carbon monoxide poisoning. Almost 500 die. This doesn't have to happen. In 2002, 3 coaches and 10 members of the Roaring Fork High School girls basketball team fell ill from carbon monoxide poisoning in a rented duplex in Steamboat. Again, this doesn't have to happen. We will be bringing this bill because we know that saving lives is going to be something that will happen when carbon monoxide detectors are installed in every home in Colorado. And we want to make sure that this passes and that the people of this state know that the Lofgren family did not die in vain. Representative John Soper, who, as I said, brought this bill last year, will speak now about the history of the bill and his intentions with bringing it originally. Thank you all again for being here.
I too want to thank everybody for being here. This bill was presented last year by Senator Bob Hagedorn, and the bill at that time was opposed by 3 groups. And I don't want this bill to come out as we're trying to finger point, because we're definitely not trying to finger point to anybody. What we're trying to do with this bill is make it safe for every citizen in the state of Colorado to have no fear of going into any building that they're going into to have a carbon monoxide incident. What a lot of people don't realize, this is an accumulative thing. I myself have suffered from carbon monoxide in construction. They'll bring a generator in and run the electricity to do the construction of a building. Instead of leaving it outside and going outside to put the gas in it, the laborers think it's a lot easier to have it inside where it's warm, and they fill the building up with these fumes. Well, day 1, you don't notice it as much as you do day 2, day 3, day 4, because every year it adds to your system. And that's just the reason we need these detectors. You may not notice the system, but these detectors are rated over time. And what happens, the first day, you may not notice it. The second day, you may notice it even more. The third day, it might be more noticeable. But we want to stop it at the very first day. So that way, when this detector goes off, even though you're not noticing any symptom, the detector tells you there's something wrong. So you go outside, open the doors, let some air in, and it clears up. So you know that you've got a problem in your house. But that isn't the solution, folks. The solution is to make sure you have somebody responsible, check your furnace, check your fireplace, check your hot water heater, to make sure that there's no problem within the structure that you're in to begin with. That's what you can do on your own in your own house. But when you go somewhere else, you don't have that privilege of doing it yourself. I just found out yesterday that they make a detector, a carbon monoxide detector, that's portable. You can take it with you. You can put it in your motel room. You can take it wherever you go, and you have that protection at night. And the purpose of this bill is to save lives. It's not to point fingers at one industry or the other industry. We want to make sure this happens. We said that the statistics that were given by Representative Court were national statistics. The average here in Colorado is 9 people a year die. It's pure and simple, 9 people die. And it's a tragedy that one family has had to bring to the forefront that this problem is. But we got millions of families in the state, and those are the folks we want to take care of. And at this time, I invite anybody that's a stakeholder to this to come and talk to us. We want to put a bill together that works for everybody. It isn't supposed to be just for one group of people or another group of people. We want it to work for all the industries in the state, and we want it to be a fair and equitable bill that's enforced in a manner that's enforceable but not prohibitive for somebody to put them out of business. And at this time, I think we have some of the friends of the family that would like to make some discussion, and I'll be available to answer any questions. I've got some fact sheets that can tell you any of the things that we've kind of alluded to, but time constraints that we have, I don't think we want to do at this point, but I'll talk to anybody afterwards. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you all for coming. Judging by the crowd in the room, I think you understand how important this is to a lot of folks today. My name is Scott Wetzel. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of United Western Bancorp here in Denver. More importantly, Caroline and Parker were godparents to our oldest son, and they were some of our closest friends. On behalf of the extended Furbach and Lofgren families who lost their children, Parker and Caroline Lofgren, and their grandchildren, Owen and Sophie Lofgren, in the tragic carbon monoxide poisoning accident a few weeks ago in Aspen, Colorado. We'd like to thank State Representative John Soper and Lois Court for sponsoring this legislation. We'd also like to thank Speaker Romanoff, who's here with us today. And I understand the Governor and the First Lady wanted to join us as well, but were unable to be in attendance. We'd like to thank you for sponsoring the legislation, which we hope will prevent further tragedies of this nature from ever occurring again in Colorado. The Furbach and Lofgren families would further like to thank, in a truly bipartisan fashion, members of the Colorado House and Senate for their future support in adopting this protective and preventive legislation. It's the family's goal to see that carbon monoxide detectors be required at a minimum in every home in Colorado as soon as possible. Additionally, Maria Furbach Dempsey, Caroline's sister, has boldly launched an ambitious campaign likely to be known as 50 by 50 to get 50 U.S. states to adopt the same preventive and protective legislation by the time her sister Caroline would have turned 50. The families greatly appreciate the outpouring of support that they've received from their respective communities, and they hope that this legislative action will lead to a safer living and working environment in Colorado and ultimately in all of the United States. I want to thank the representatives for allowing us time here on behalf of the families today. I want to thank the family members that are all here and the good friends that have joined us to make this point. At this time, I'm going to turn over to Doug Robinson, a founding partner in St. Charles, who is Parker's closest friends.
Will you briefly spell your last name real quick?
Last name Wetzel, W-E-T-Z-E-L.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Doug Robinson. I'll spell that R-O-B-I-N-S-O-N. As Scott said, I'm one of Parker's partners at St. Charles Capital. Other of his partners and our colleagues are here today. I've worked with Parker for over 9 years, and the Lofgren and Furbach families have asked me to say a few